Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, Jeff Booth discusses the inherent deflationary nature of free markets and criticizes the issues within the inflationary system we live in today. He highlights Bitcoin as a solution to break the cycle of wealth concentration and manipulation, emphasizing that, when measured in Bitcoin, prices will fall forever to the marginal cost of production. Jeff urges the adoption of Bitcoin as a measurement of value to escape the challenges posed by the current monetary system.
So that's where I'd like to start. That why would this invention or discovery make us change the course of history in the future? And you know my thesis, but I would say it's not a thesis. There's evidence for it everywhere if people look. But the prices fall to the marginal cost of production. Technology is deflationary, or a better way to say this is the natural state of a free market is deflation. In short times, you can have inflation, supply chain constraints or something, but the natural longer term course is deflation, because we solve problems and we solve things that were once scarce, and we create business opportunities from them by solving those problems to reduce the price and create more value. And we've done it through our entire lives as humans, our entire human history. And the output of that is deflationary, because we don't also, on the other side of this, I'm talking about the entrepreneurial process on one side, which is trying to capture more value in a free market and provide value to other people. But on the purchaser side or the user side, we only use things that give us more value. So it's logical that as more value comes to us, that we would use those things, and that reduces prices. And so for human history, that has always butted up against a system that is inflationary. Because if you can steal that productivity, even slowly, 2%, 1%, then that means you have a hidden tax, a hidden theft on top of all society, where you get richer while you're stealing that productivity from flowing to society. And there's never been something that could resolve that conflict, because gold could get centralized, other assets would get centralized, and they would build fractional systems on top to carry on that theft. And it's natural, because human nature is natural. If you could control money and get a free tax on human productivity, then you would, right? And you see that repeat through history, and you see out of that repeating through history, wars are fought to be able to reset the structure and control the money, so that a new person can have the theft of the productivity. And so we believe that society can't run without theft and money in it, right? So there's a giant belief around the world that inflation is required for a productive economy. And no one's asked the question, why? Because really what it says is theft is required to trade with people. It doesn't seem it seems if you built a world like that, where theft is required to trade with people, then theft would expand. And so that's the world we live in right now, and we're measuring that world from the world creating the theft. And so it's concentrating, it's getting worse and worse, and people are largely, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories within that, because they see that problem visible to everyone, and there's no solution from the system creating the problem. Bitcoin is outside of that system, and it has no counterparty risk to that system. It's rebuilding a new system in parallel that is just an honest ledger. And so that honest ledger, what's happening, and I'm going to say this, I say it all the time, but if it stays decentralized and secure and hard kept at 21 million, as I think it's inevitable that it does, then no matter what we do, no matter what, it is imposing new rules on the world that mean prices fall to the marginal cost of production and the free market is deflationary. And so you don't have to believe in that statement, but it's happening to you anyways. So if you don't hold Bitcoin, your prices are going up. If you denominate in Bitcoin, all prices are coming down, and they will forever. And so what that would look like, and if you just think about where we are, you could tie this into the Fermi paradox, you could tie this into a whole bunch of things, but where we are as a society is we're building a society that when we explore space, we won't be doing it in these bodies because the time and space is too long. We're entering a time where technology will do that job for us, and we might insert our consciousness into that technology. But technology, robots, and AI will do the heavy lifting on a bunch of that. And we're entering a time where all of that work is deflationary, and it gets more and more deflationary. It gets exponentially so as a result. And so we're into a singularity type event where us as the labor component of this, of our markets, is reduced. And if us as a labor component of the markets is reduced and prices don't fall, then as a logical conclusion, then somebody has to control us. So you either concentrate all of the wealth up into a certain number of people that control everyone else, in modern day slavery, or you let prices fall. And Bitcoin is imposing that, and it doesn't really matter. Like, that's why I say, my house fell by 270 Bitcoin in the last 3.5 years. Like, the cost of the house fell by 270 Bitcoin in the last. I can buy 10 houses for what I could buy one house for 3.5 years ago. And so you can see all prices on everything are falling, like I'm saying, but the only thing measuring that is Bitcoin. So what that means is technology moves faster and faster, and as a byproduct should be saving us more and more time, and we should have more and more freedom as a result of more and more time, then that is happening, but it's only happening if you're measuring from Bitcoin, not measuring from the system that's essentially stealing from you.
So when we talk about the reduction of theft in the context of trade, what you're saying is that Bitcoin doesn't, if you value and denominate your own wealth or labor in Bitcoin, what you're not allowing is for the theft class to remove your excess time from you. Can you?
Yeah, and so again, people will go and people think it's just the theft class doing it, and they forget that they actually have a role in it too. Because if you're saving in that, let's use a real example today. So people are trying to stop their money from being debased by making more money, and they'll invest in Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, essentially the Magnificent Seven. And if you took the Magnificent Seven out of the stock market, it would be highly negative. But people think it's positive because and if you just invest those, it's positive. So what are they doing? They're saying, if I hold my money in the bank, I'm going to lose money because money is designed to lose money. So I need to place it somewhere else. I'm going to place it in these companies, or I'm going to place it in my pension fund, that if the pension fund goes broke, then I can't pay my bills when I retire. So the pension fund puts my money in those assets. At the same time, those assets on the consumer side are removing labor to reduce price and give us more. So we use those companies at an ever increasing rate because they give us more value. at the same time, those companies are using technology to reduce labor to give us more. And if they didn't reduce labor, we wouldn't use them because the cost would be too high. So on one side of us, we say, well, why don't you hire more people? Why don't you do this? But we don't want that to happen because we wouldn't use the company. And on the other side, we're funneling more of our money into those companies because it's one of the only places you could protect against devaluation. Or we're doing the same thing in housing. We are, not everybody else. We are. We have to put our money in housing because if we don't, we're getting our currency is being devalued. So that housing attracts a monetary premium that hurts somebody else, that steals from somebody else because their rents go higher and higher. And then the jobs are going away anyways. And instead of letting prices fall, then we turn to government and we say, government, you have to solve the housing crisis. You have to create more housing units and you should spend more money and you should make up more monetary units to be able to solve this for those people. And all of the people at the bottom vote for, and it's crazy. It is crazy, but we're part of that problem. So you have a whole bunch of free market people that say they believe in free markets, but they only believe in free markets. I'm not talking Bitcoiners here. I'm talking most people who believe in free markets and think there's a free market inside the market that's being manipulated. They only believe in free markets when it serves them and they're able to steal more money because there is no free market with manipulated money. And so you can see this, you can see it perfectly clear because if the banks would fail, or if you're too big to fail, you have inside ball on the financial system. And so you go as fast as you can to get to be too big to fail. And you create distortion and further distortions in the market. And then to further kind of put a foot stomp on that, we don't see it in ourselves. And we vote for people effectively left or right that effectively are saying, we're going to steal more money from you, but we're going to distribute it differently. And it gets worse and it gets worse. And there is no solve from the system creating the problem. So every one of our actions spent inside that system, measuring from that system, trying to get enough money for ourselves and our families, is actually making that system more fragile, ripping us apart as a society, creating a divide in society. And we're part of it. We're making it stronger. And so if people actually could see what that was actually doing to them, they can't. They don't know that it's doing that to them, because they'll either, everything I just said, by the way, is true, right? Free market is deflationary. Prices follow the marginal cost of production. And then people will go, yeah, totally. And carry on right back to what they've been doing. How do I make enough money in it to be able to save my family or protect my family? Or who should I vote for within it to hurt the other guy and save my money? Even though you know that inside it, everything is based on a lie that hurts other people. And so all of the time that it's sucking your attention into that makes it stronger and hurts you more.
So, what do you think about this Bitcoin discussion? Do you agree with Jeff and his arguments? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, keep learning and keep stacking.